All right, so for today's class, we are going to be going over the design section within Command. We will also be touching on our website to create an email signature. So to get started, I'm at the Command sign-in page. I'm at agent.kw.com, and I'm going to sign in with my KW username and password. I'll give you guys a moment to do the same as well. All right, once we're signed in, that brings us to our Command dashboard. Now we're going to go into the design section today. So over on the left, we have our Applet menu. These are the different sections within Command. And while you're still learning what these different icons are, if you click on the KW at the top left, it'll actually expand this menu and show you the name of each section. So let's go ahead and click on Designs. It's the icon that looks like a little paintbrush. Now this brings us into My Design Templates. Here we find a library of pieces we've created before. So we can see our different email blasts or email templates that we've created, our different social templates, print, and then video. Under video, you can actually create a really cool neighborhood video to share on social media. So these are all of our pieces that we've created before. We're going to start today by creating a social piece, a piece for Facebook. So we're going to go down to the little plus sign down at the bottom right. Click on that, and then we can choose which type of design we'd like to create. So we're not going to touch on email templates today, and we do go over that in my marketing with Command class. We actually go over creating an email blast together and sending it to our database, but you can actually create your pieces from here as well. So you can create an email blast from designs or from within the campaign section. We have social, where we can create those social posts for Facebook, Instagram, and so on. Print, our different print flyers. We will touch on print today. Video or PDF. So if you have a PDF that you need to edit, there's actually a feature for that within Command. You can import your PDF. Command will actually sense the different fonts and the different images, and you'll be able to change the text as well as move things around and change the photos. So we're going to start today by choosing social. There's also this box down here that says import photos and text from a listing. We're going to skip this for now. If you ever forget to check this box, you actually can select your listing from within the piece itself as well. So we'll just skip over that for now. We'll click social and then next. And I do want to point out for the design section, we have seen that Command works best in Firefox, specifically for designs. We tend to use both Firefox and Google Chrome, but specifically designs works best in Firefox from what we've seen. So if you ever have trouble within the design section, try going in through Firefox and it should work better for you. I'm currently in Firefox today. So this brings us into the template library. These are all the templates that we have access to. We have the templates tab, which we're going to come back to. Then we also have My Design. So this is basically just an expansion of that design library that we saw before. So these are all of our pieces we've created before. These are our print and our social pieces. They can be found here. You can scroll through and see your different pieces. You can also create folders. So you can see some examples of folders I've created before. You can create a new folder by clicking this button over here on the far right. You can name your folder. Create that folder, and then you can basically drag and drop pieces into that folder to further categorize and organize your library. So you can see I'm just dragging and dropping and organizing my library. So this is where you'll find all of your print and social pieces you've made before. This is where you also have access to a blank template. So we're going to take a look at all the other templates that are available, but if you don't find exactly what you need or you need a specific size, you can actually create a blank template here. We also have the option to import PDFs from here as well, or go back to the templates, which we will do. Let's go ahead and click on brand assets. So it's a good idea to check out the brand assets section before you go in and create a piece. This is kind of like updating your marketing profile in Command. This is where you're going to add in basically your personal info, your headshot, any stock photos you might need, basically all the info you may want when branding, when creating your pieces. So it starts with colors and fonts. If you have a specific color palette you're working with, you can actually upload those here. So this is the main palette. These are just some colors chosen. You can add a new color by clicking this plus sign. It'll actually allow you to add in your custom colors. You can create additional color palettes here as well. And if you have any fonts, maybe you use a specific font for your branding or your marketing pieces, you can actually upload those here and then use them on the marketing pieces you create. Under logos, this is a great place to upload your team logo or your specific office logo. Within the piece, you can actually select some generic KW, just the regular KW logos. But if you have your office's specific logos, you can actually upload those here, and makes it really easy to add those to the piece. So you can do so by clicking this upload button, and that will allow you to choose that file from any of these locations. And I'll show you all of this in action, how we can actually use the brand assets section when we're creating a piece. We also have text. These are basically like little text snippets that you may be using on your marketing pieces. So things like maybe your tagline, your Instagram link, Facebook, website, and so on. These basically we can just drag and drop these pieces or these bits of text onto our marketing pieces. Under images, this is where you'll want to upload your headshot or any stock photos. So these, for some reason, don't populate on this page, but when we're in the piece, this is actually mine and Scott's headshots. And then we can upload any stock photos we may want to use as well. Under elements, these are kind of like clip art. We'll see the elements when we go into a piece, but if you have any little clip art or elements or shapes, stickers, those type of things that you may want to use, you can add those here. And then any videos or additional files. So it's a good idea to touch on this section. I would say minimum, you should add in your headshot into the images section and then your logos into the logo section. It's just going to make it really easy to create your piece. Now let's go back over to templates. And over here on the left, we can see our different categories. We have some pieces for the app. We have listings. Now I did choose, okay, so right now, I believe this is a glitch. This happens from time to time. Right now it's showing me basically everything. It's showing me social pieces and I have access to the print pieces as well. I've seen this kind of switch back and forth. Since we chose social, it should only be giving me the social choices. So I believe this is an error where it's also showing the print pieces. But I'll just go through and highlight a few things. So under listings, you can see we have quite a few options, everything from for sale to just sold. We'll touch on listing presentations when we actually look at print pieces. Right now, it just has everything lumped together. Under buyer, we have some buyer pieces, lead gen, some fun client love, event invitations. This is where you'll find your holiday pieces as well. They always come out with some fun holiday pieces and seasonal pieces here. Under business basics, you can find things like email signatures, social branding, if you need a cover photo for Facebook or LinkedIn. I say that these are good for your Zoom backgrounds as well. We also have some leadership pieces, professional services. There's luxury pieces that can be found in here as well. And then some new designs down toward the bottom. So we're going to start today with a social piece for Facebook. So we're going to go back up to listings and let's click for sale. And then social wide. So for social, we have these pieces which are formatted perfectly for Twitter, Facebook, and LinkedIn. We also have social square. These are great for Instagram, but you can use them on Facebook as well. And then social stories. So these are perfectly formatted for your Instagram stories or your Facebook stories. So you can determine which piece or which size works best for you. We're going to go with social wide today. And let's go ahead and just select this first option here. So we are under listings, for sale, social wide, and then this first option. All right, so this is our piece over here. We're basically just going to go through and update these items. Now over on the left, we have these sections here. So this is basically what we're going to use to update our piece. Now it first starts with images. And it has the My Assets section. So this is from the My Assets section that we were just looking at, that we just uploaded. So you can see we're in the piece, but we have access to our headshots and then any stock photos we added. You also have access to your own stock photos here as well, or KW stock photos. It's also bringing up this little guided tour. There's a couple guided tours populating here, these little purple pop-ups. I'm essentially giving you a guided tour today, so I'm going to click skip, but you can actually go through and this will highlight different areas of the design that you're working on. So I'm just going to click skip for now, and I'll click skip down here and I'll point out those items to you. But over here in images and then company, you have access to some stock photos, and there's a lot in here. For example, if we click house images, you can see some beautiful photos that you can use on your pieces. So lots and lots of stock photos that you have access to here. And then under add, this is where we can actually upload our own photos. So if you have photos in Facebook, Google Drive, Dropbox, or on your computer that you need to use, you can actually upload them here by clicking this button. That will allow you to choose the photos from your computer. We also have the text section. Now we're going to go through and just click on the text boxes to edit. But you can add in additional text blocks here. They have some banners that you can use. These are really fun. Under company, this just says each office is independently owned and operated. You can see that's actually on our piece already. And then under My Assets, these are those little bits of text that we may want to use. Under icons, this is, like I said, kind of like clip art, little stickers that you can put on your pieces. You do have access to the stock icons, company, and then any that you would have uploaded. Same sort of thing for logos. These are our logos in the My Assets section. These would be ones that we imported previously. Or we do have access to some company logos as well. These are going to be just the plain KW logos, not specifically for your market center. If you do need your market center logo, let me go ahead and pull that up for you guys. I'll send you the link directly. It can be found within KW Connect. So it's found in kwconnect.com under resources and then marketing. And I'll drop the link. So resources, marketing, and then logos and branding. On this page, you can actually find your logo for your specific office. So I'm going to put this in the chat for you. And on this page, you have access to basically any KW logo you may need. If you scroll down, you can see for print, for web, different colors. But in this section here, you can actually search for your specific market center. Woo. Search for your specific market center, and then you can download that logo here. So again, that's in KW Connect. On the actual piece, under stock, under company, you have access to these regular KW logos. And then the KWLS. So when we chose what type of piece we were going to create, there was that checkbox to import photos and text from a listing. If you skip over that, or you forget, or you decide you need to add in listing info, you can actually add that in here from the KWLS button. So we're going to create this piece for a listing today. I'm going to search for my listing by address. I'm just going to type in my listing address here. And find my listing down below. Once I find that, I can click select, and that's going to give me access to the listing photos and details that are found in the KWLS. So let's actually start to edit our piece. I'm going to start by changing out the photo. So I'm going to click on the photo I'd like to change. And there's a couple different ways that you can do this. So I have my photos pulled up from KWLS over here on the left. What I can do, I can actually go over to my photo over here, and there's a couple options. I can click Add Image. That's basically just going to plop the image on top of everything. So I don't want to do that. I'm just going to hit Delete on my keyboard. But if I actually click on the photo and hit Replace Image, it'll make my photo fit perfectly. You can also drag and drop your photo over there. So again, I'll just choose this photo. I can hold my mouse, the button on my mouse down, and drag it over to where I'd like to replace the image. Once I let go of the button, it will replace that right away. I like using the replace button. I just think it's really easy. But you can see there is this error going on currently where it basically pops your photo up to the top left corner of the image. What we need to do to fix this is click the reposition button. So it's this button up here at the top center. And this will allow me to basically fix the cropping. So I can go ahead and readjust this and make my photo fit perfectly. Once I have this in the right position, I can click done, and you can see my photo has been added in. So I can go through and add different photos if I'd like. You can see I'll just go ahead and drag that over. And that will replace right away for me. Again, once you do have to click that reposition button, and then you can adjust the cropping. All right, so my photo is good to go. Now we just need to update the details. So up at the top right, we have the listing address. Of course, I can just double click in this box and change the text. I do have these editing options at the top as well. I can change the font, I can change the size, the color. Let's go over to KWLS and click listing details. You can see these are all of my property details pulled over from KWLS. So for example, if I want to change out the address, I can find the address over here on the left. You can see it says property address. I can also hit the replace button here. I selected the piece of text I want to change first. So I clicked on this, and then I'm going to find my details over on the left and click replace. And you can see it swaps it out right away for me. You may need to adjust this. You can see it doesn't add in the state for you. So I'm just double clicking in this box, and I will update the text to add in the state. I'm also just going to move things around. It doesn't fit perfectly. Well, actually, if I do it that way, it's not too bad, but I'm just going to move these things over and just make that fit a little bit better. And you can see as I'm dragging and dropping items, these grid lines are popping up, and whatever I have selected is popping or locking into place. So you can see that's just going to help you make sure that everything in your piece is formatted properly and lined up and looking great. All right, over here we have these property details. Now, using the replace button over here is not going to work for this because all of this text is in one box. So if I were to hit replace next to 4 bedrooms, it would just put a 4 in this box and remove everything else. So I'm just going to double click and we can manually change out this text. I'm going to readjust this so it fits perfectly, change out the square footage, and then the price. This is a very nice house. All right, that has been updated. We also have the year it was built. This was built in 2021. So I'm just double clicking in that box, changing the text. And then we have our logo. So when I click on the logo, the piece can actually sense that this is a logo file. So it's going to bring up my logo section automatically for me. I can use a logo from my assets and go ahead and click the replace button. It'll add that in right away. I can also use a company logo and do the same thing over here. Now for some of these, you'll see that it doesn't fit perfectly. It may kind of pop it down. So I'll just drag and drop, resize this, and then get it in the right place. And there we go. Pretty simple. My piece is created nice and quick. You'll notice that for these social pieces, we do kind of keep it short and simple. Once when you post this on social media, you'll put more details in the actual caption or in the text, the body of text for that post. So you'll want to keep the image itself pretty straightforward, pretty simple. We'll actually go through and create a flyer as well, and then we can add more details onto that. But for a social post, this is perfect. Now up toward the top, I do need to rename this. So this is the file name here. If I just double click in this box, I'm just going to rename this. You can type in what you'd like this piece to be named. That'll save automatically for me. So if we go over here to the file button on the left, auto save should be turned on. So this is saving as we're working, which is great. So I would just double check. That should be on automatically, but it's never a bad idea to make sure that your work is saving as well. All right, we are done with this piece. Now, the great thing is this is actually linked to the campaign section within Command. So I have a couple options here. I can download this, open up a new tab, go to Facebook and post it, or I can also go into the campaign section and post directly from there. Let's start just by downloading. I'm going to click the download button here. And this did change recently. If you've been working in designs, this is updated. So we first have to select the file type. We have JPEG, PNG, PDF for standard, or PDF for printing. Since this is just a Facebook piece, I don't need to be printing this. I can select JPEG. You can also change the image quality. And if this was multiple pages, I could select which pages I'd like to download. So I'm just changing this to JPEG, and I can go ahead and click download right away. Now that did save to my computer. There we go. I'll just go ahead and open that up, and you can see there's our beautiful Facebook piece. Let's go ahead and click done at the top right, and that'll bring us back to Command. Now that does bring us back to my design templates. We go over this more in my marketing with Command class, but I do want to just give you a quick little sneak peek on how we can post that directly through Command. So we're going to go over here to the left and click on campaigns, the little megaphone. Now, one of our campaign choices within Command is social posting. If you've ever used Hootsuite before, it's kind of similar to that. You can actually schedule your social media posts ahead of time, and then they will run automatically for you. Now, the great thing about the social post section is it is actually linked to your design library. So let's go ahead and click Create Campaign at the top right, and then choose Social Post. I'm just going to give you a super quick run through of this just so you can see how easy it is to create a design and then post it to Facebook through designs or through Command. But again, check out my marketing with Command class. We go over this more in depth. But basically, we'll go through and answer these questions on the left to build our post on the right. First, we add in the text. So this is for a listing. I'm going to go ahead and just put in the listing the property description. So I'll do something like just listed in Franklin, and you can see over on the left or on the right, it's actually populating my post. I'm going to put in the property description and something like contact today for more information. So our piece itself was pretty simple, but we can put 2,200 characters in the actual text box here, so we can add more descriptions for the piece. Now down below is the section where we will select the actual media. So we can choose from designs. I can upload an image from my computer. I can upload a video or add a link. But if I actually click Browse Design Library, this will allow me to choose that piece we just created. So these are all of my social pieces. I can click 1044 October Park, and it's going to put that into the piece right away for me. While that's loading, I do want to point out this Dba Logo section. Oh, it says it wasn't ready to use. It probably just because I just created it. I'm going to try that again. There we go. All right, so there's our piece. You do have to rearrange the cropping. So it does crop this as a square. We can go ahead and change this to wide. and that'll fit perfectly for that Facebook piece. You can also manually crop this and adjust the cropping. And there we go. We were able to pull over our design we just created into this piece. There's this Dba logo section. This is optional. So we have a logo on the piece itself. This gives you the option to add the logo from your marketing profile. You can see it kind of just stuck it on top over here on the left. This is not required, so I'll just go ahead and remove that. Lastly, we can choose if we want to post this immediately or schedule. So you can actually choose the date and time that you'd like to schedule this, and this will run automatically for you. So I can choose tomorrow at 10 a.m. And then all I have to do is click schedule post. And then tomorrow at 10 a.m., this will run automatically for me. So again, we do go over this a little slower, more in depth in my marketing with command class, but I just wanted to show you that this is linked, the command, your design library is linked to your campaigns, and you can actually post directly from here. So I'll just go ahead and save this as a draft. All right, so let's go back to designs and we can take a look at the print designs now. So we'll click on that designs icon again on the left. Let's click the plus sign. This time we're going to choose print. And let's go ahead and select this box for import photos and text from a listing. Then next. So this is going to bring up our KWLS search page. This is linked to the KWLS, full MLS search. You can choose between all listings or only my listings. If you were an agent, your listing should appear here. But under all listings, we do have the full KWLS search. So I can search by property address or MLS ID. So I'll go ahead and search for that again. And select my listing. Now we do have some really great options under print as well. So over here on the left, we have our templates, the different types of templates. And again, it's kind of putting everything together. It's showing us social and print. It should only be giving us the print options, but it looks like that is an error that's happening right now. But I do want to point out some of the print specific pieces. So we're going to go ahead and just create a flyer really quickly together. So under just listed, you can see some examples of door hangers, different brochures. There's also postcards in here, which you can print on your own, or you can actually have them sent out through command as well. I do go over that in the marketing class. Different flyers. So there's an A4 size, which I believe is like the standard printing size in Europe. So if you are creating a flyer, make sure that you choose letter. There's more options under letter, and then more postcards and brochures. So great options in here. Command is also offering printing now, but just for flyers at this time. There's also listing presentations available under print. Great question. Do you have an accredited vendor for printing postcards? We do not at this time. Command, like I said, they can print and send them for you. I don't think that you can actually just order prints of postcards through them. I think you actually have to have them mailed through command. And then at this time, they are only printing the flyers. I would check with your office to see if they have a preferred vendor. Because at this time, we do not. And hopefully that will become available soon as well. They just started offering the printing of flyers very recently, so I would guess that they're working on the other options soon as well. Here are some examples of those listing presentations. These are really great, fully customizable. There's tons of page options in here. You can customize the pages, you can move things around. I just made a new video on that yesterday, which can be found on our YouTube page. We also have these neighborhood snap pieces. You can see there are a couple flyer options and door hangers. This will actually pull over statistics from Nextdoor. And then you can create these flyers and basically use them for door knocking. Under buyer, we also have a buyer presentation. Similar to that listing presentation, you can see some examples of those here. There's also a new personally branded zine. This is kind of like a little magazine that you can create. You can use this and send it to your clients. You can put it on a tablet, or you can also print this. So great option here. Under business basics, there are some business card templates in here, but you would need to have those printed on your own. Some email signatures. We're going to touch on email signatures here in a bit, and then some letterhead as well. So creating a print piece is going to follow the same routine as creating a social piece. So we're just going to go through and create a flyer together really quickly. I'm going to go under just listed. And then I'm going to scroll all the way down and go to flyers letter. And I'm going to select this option here, the 5th option. And then click use. So I'm just going to run through this real quick. It's going to follow that same process. Now I do want to point out this pages button over here on the right. I'm going to go ahead and click on that and expand. If you have a multi-page design or document that you're creating, you can go ahead and manage those pages here. So for those listing presentations, you would actually edit from this section over here. You would select the page you'd like to change, and then you can go ahead and make those edits. So definitely check out my listing presentations video I just made yesterday. I'll drop this in the chat. Our YouTube page is youtube.com/ScottLeroyMarketing, because they did just change that. So if you have multiple pages on a design, do make sure that you're selecting the pages from over here before editing. Well, let's go ahead and edit this piece again. So I'm just going to zoom in by clicking this plus sign down at the bottom. And we're going to go through the same process. So I'm going to click on my photo here and then choose KWLS. And since we selected our listing ahead of time, it already has the photos and details pulled up. So I'm going to go through and hit replace. Reposition to go ahead and fix that cropping. Same thing, click on a photo, choose a listing photo from over here on the left. Go ahead and click reposition and make sure that that fits perfectly. Now, again, you also have the option to add photos from your computer. So if you don't have the KWLS photos, you can click images and then add. And this will allow you to upload photos that you may have saved on your computer. You can click here and then find those specific photos that you need from your computer and upload them. So for today, I'm just using those KWLS listings. I'll go ahead and choose one more. And then fix that cropping. So always make sure you click the reposition button and then done. All right, I'm going to zoom in some more. Let's go ahead and change out those property details again real quick. I'm clicking on the text and then finding my listing details on the left, hitting replace, and I'll just go ahead and add in the state. And again, you can change the font, you can change the size, the colors, whatever it is. So if I want to make this bigger, I can go ahead and do so here. And then just readjust. Now I do want to change this property description. So I'll click on the property description here. The property description on the left is always the very last option I can see down at the bottom left. And once I click that replace button, you can see it adds that in perfectly. So I'll just readjust. And that looks great. Go ahead and change the year it was built, change the property details. Again, I'm just double clicking in this box and editing. You can see it's really easy to quickly create our listing piece. and then the price. Whoop. All right, so sorry guys, my keyboard's going a little slow. All right, so now all we have to do is change out this info at the bottom. So when we click on this photo here, I'm gonna go back up to images and add in my headshot. Ooh, and it zoomed me out, so I'll go ahead and zoom back in. So I'm clicking on the image and then clicking on the images section, and then I'm going to go into my assets. So I can find my headshot here and then drag that over or replace. Ooh, this is a great question. Somebody asked, how do I fill in an entire area as red? So I'm assuming you mean like changing the background. So to do that, so for an example, this little block here, if I actually click on this will allow me to change the fill color up here. But if I wanted to maybe like fill in the background, I would probably, I don't think there's a, ooh, yeah, okay. So if I wanted to change the background, I could do so by just clicking on the background and selecting a new color up here. If you have like a specific area you're trying to fill, okay, cool. Looks like that's what you were asking. Okay. So yeah, you can click, these are totally customizable. So you can add in different blocks, different shapes, change the color of the shapes on the actual piece, remove these, move things around, change the background color. So you can totally redo this. And somebody asked what KWDBA name means. This is just like the generic logo, meaning like it doesn't have the specific name for your market center. So you would need to replace this with either a regular KW logo or your office's specific logo. So I'll just go ahead and add in a white KW logo here, and this will be good to go. All right, so I'm not going to go through and change the contact details. It's basically the same process, but you can see really quickly I was able to create this beautiful flyer. So for these, now KW did just start offering printing. Up here, you can see we do have the option for order print. So if you wanted to do that, you can click order print here and go through these printing options. So it asks what type of paper, what type of coating for the paper, and how many copies you need. Now you don't have to order through them. We also have the option to download this as a PDF and print it on our own. But if you wanted to order prints through command, that is an option now, which is great. So you can choose the print options here and then continue. It will go ahead and have you review the design. So it does pull up the bleed area and the safe area. You just want to make sure that all of your important details are within this box here. This is going to crop at the blue line. So it looks like not much, or all of this should be in the flyer itself. So you shouldn't have to worry about that. You just shouldn't have any important details past these lines. And it has you double check. It gives you these items here. You can go ahead and check these boxes to agree and download a PDF. And then continue. Ooh, I guess you do have to download the PDF. All right, just cancel that. And then once you click continue, you'll have the option to add in your payment information and order the flyers. So that's one option. Again, at this time, I believe it's only single-sided flyers that you can order prints through command for. So I'll just exit out of that, but we can also download this. So I'm going to click the download button, and here we can choose what type of option. So even though this is a print flyer, I can also download this as a JPEG, and I can post it on Facebook, post it on Instagram, put it in the body of an email, and use it as an image file. If I want to print this, I would recommend choosing PDF for printing, and this will give me a high quality PDF. Now, it's a good idea to go ahead and check out the crop marks and the bleed just to make sure that everything is good to go. So if this was like a postcard or something that you'll actually be cropping, you can add those in and know where you need to crop your piece. I'll go ahead and just uncheck those boxes. You can choose which pages you need to download and then download the actual file. And this should pop up any second now, and let me view our piece. There we go. And I'll open that up and you can see very quickly I was able to create this really nice flyer. And this is a high quality PDF, so I can choose to take this to a printer and use this for my marketing. All right, so that's a little bit about the design section within Command. As you can see, lots of great pieces that you have access to there. Really easy to use, really easy to create, and they're interchangeable. So you can create a piece, you can save it as a PDF for printing or save it as a JPEG to use within emails and social media. So great options here. Now I do also want to touch on our website. So we're going to switch gears and go to scottleroymarketing.com. And we're going to check out our templates that we have on our site. So again, this is scottleroymarketing.com. To get full access to all the resources on our website, we do have to log in. So I'm going to click the login button. Now for most of us, it's just going to be a Market Center number. This is not your KW password. This is just your Market Center number. A handful of offices also have their own specific password. So I'll just go ahead and enter in a Market Center number and click login. We're going to highlight KW resources at the top and then choose the very last option, templates. We'll go ahead and just click on the templates button directly. So again, KW resources and templates. Now, in addition to those templates you have available through Command, we've provided templates here for you as well. If you scroll down, you can see these are all of our template options. We have different flyers, calendars, holiday pieces, and so on. But most people use our email signatures. Now in Command, you do have I think you have 2 options for email signatures. We have quite a few options, and we have a lot of agents that utilize our signatures. These are totally free. So we're going to go through and create an email signature together today. I also want to point out this video at the top. So we're going to do a quick run through of editing an email signature. This is going to be a little bit different of a process, so I recommend watching this video here. This is going to go through the email signature process slowly and in more detail, and at the end it'll actually show you how to attach it to your Gmail. So I recommend for any template you use from our website, you check this video out first. But let's go ahead and scroll down. These are in alphabetical order, and we will click email signatures. Now this brings us into Google Drive, and we can see 4 different folders here. So to access our templates, you have to be signed into a Gmail account. If you don't have your own Gmail that you're using currently, your kw.com email is actually a Gmail, so you can sign into that. So I'm just going to go ahead and sign into my email here, and that will give me full access to these templates. So I'm signed into Gmail, and we have these 4 folders. You can go through and see the different templates that we have available. So we have different modern templates. These are some examples of those. Normal. And then some vertical and widescreen. So I'm just going to go into modern, clicking that first folder. And let's just go ahead and select the first option here. Now over here on the left, you can see we have 3 different slides. The first slide is the template itself. The second slide is this message that just says if you put any links or buttons on this piece, they will not be clickable. So just keep that in mind. So if I were to add like a Facebook icon or a download my app button, those will not be clickable. This is just going to be a flat image signature. You can hyperlink the whole thing within your email and make it go to one link. So if somebody clicks on it anywhere, it'll take them to whichever link you choose. But if you're trying to add in like a Facebook button, an app button, whatever it is, we recommend adding those in below, and then you can link them individually. If you have trouble with that, send us an email and we'd be happy to assist with that. So that's what this message is saying. And then the third slide just says watch the video, and this will walk you through how to edit this. So all we need is the first slide, and you can see when I click on this, I can't actually do anything. It's not allowing me to edit. So what we need to do is we need to go over to the top left and click File, make a copy, and then selected slides. We only need the first slide from this template. So File, make a copy, and selected slides. You can choose to rename this if you'd like. I'm just going to click OK, and this will open up a new tab. So what this did was it basically just made a copy of our template into your own Google Drive. And now you own this and you can make changes. So now I'm able to click on this and update the piece. I'm going to start by changing the headshot here. I'm going to go ahead and click on Scott's photo, and I can right click on my mouse, and then I have the option for Replace Image. Once I highlight Replace Image, I can choose Upload from Computer, and this will allow me to choose my headshot that I have saved in my computer. I can go ahead and change the text. I'm just clicking in this box. It's really simple to edit these. I can also change same sort of things. I can change the font. I can change the size. I can change the color. Just go ahead and change out all this text. I can change out my email. I'm just going to go ahead and make this smaller so my email fits. I can change out this info at the bottom as well. I can also, I'll just go ahead and make this a little smaller. I can change out this item here. So if I wanted to change the color of this black bar, I can go ahead and pick or click on this little fill button. I can choose a specific color. I can use a gradient if I want. So you can completely customize this. I can move things around. I can add in my logo. Again, totally customize this to my liking. Once this is good to go, all we need to do is go up to the top left and click File. Now this is saved in my Google Drive, so I'll have access to this at all times. But if I want to add this to my, my email signature, I'll go up here to File and then Download. So File, Download, and then normally you would click JPEG image. But we've noticed with these specific files, if you just choose JPEG, it's a little pixelated. So we take one extra step. So we're going File, Download, and then PDF. So we're going to take an extra step. I'll just go ahead and save this PDF file. And that's now saved to my computer. Now, unfortunately, you can't upload a PDF to your email signature. It has to be a JPEG file. So we're going to go to this website. It's PDF, the number 2, jpg.net. And I'll go ahead and put that in the chat for you guys. This is just a free converter website. So PDF, the number 2, jpg.net. If we click this blue button here that says choose a PDF file, we can go ahead and select the PDF from our computer. So there's our file we just saved. We'll want to make sure that the JPEG quality is excellent. And then we can click Convert PDF to JPG. This works really quickly. And then up here under JPEG Pictures, we can go ahead and download the file. I believe that should pop up here in a second. Nope, maybe not. All right, so let me just go ahead. I'll open this up for you guys so you can take a look. And there we go. There's my email signature. So you can see it is a little pixelated, but it probably won't be that large when it's actually in my email signature. So if I go ahead and make that smaller, you can see that looks great. So now all I need to do is go into my Gmail settings or my email, whatever email account you're using, and you can upload this file. So that is actually about it for today's class. Again, I recommend checking out this video on our templates page. This will go through creating that email signature a little more in detail, and then it'll actually show you how to attach it to your Gmail. If you have any questions or any trouble when you're working on your email signature, any of our templates or any of the command templates, please feel free to reach out. We are here Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. Eastern, and you can see our phone number and our email here. I did also record this class. I'll have this up on our YouTube page later today. But thank you guys for watching our class today. If we don't talk to you soon, I hope you enjoy the rest of your day and have a great weekend.